FUSION5 today, and it's a tablet PC, and it's it's got all, when it comes on, it's got all winner. I don't know what that means. The Chinese don't seem to put a name on anything, but it's a quad core, and I've put the box on. I've opened the box and I've had it out. I've had it for a couple of days now, and this is the box just in case you get one, and this is the kind of thing it'll come in. But there are box openings, so this will give you some idea about what kind of a box to look for if you're looking for it. And there's a 1 gigabyte model, and there's a 2 gigabyte. By that I mean there's 2 gigabytes of RAM. They're basically the actual internal memory on them is about 16 gigabytes. But I preferred the 2 gigabyte of RAM. I like to be awash in RAM. Anyway, I've been using this thing here, which is what they call an e-reader, and I'm a granddad, so I'm not particularly. You won't get anything technical off me. There's nothing. I don't know anything much, but this is just it will read notes and it does video and things like that. It's nothing to do with the internet. It doesn't attract the internet at all, and I've got it on its lowest setting because I usually use it at night to watch little videos and things. And it's called an e-book. It comes up with e-book on it, and then you get a set of things, and it's got music, a video, photos, it's got a little radio, it will record, and it's got the settings and all that kind of stuff. And you've got to flick down it to do the. It's got a flash card on. I've got a TF card in the side, and a trans flash card, which is just a micro SD, and it doesn't do anything spectacular, but I was quite happy with it for a long time, and it's a 7-inch screen. You measure across the way like that, and I was quite happy with it. It gave me what I wanted, but you can't go on the internet with it. You've got to put the films on, and it would only do sort of like 800 by 600 ABI files, and that wasn't really enough for what I wanted. So it doesn't take long to forget what they are. I've been using it, and now I've been using this FUSION5. I've forgotten all about it. So that's what I've been using, and I was quite happy with that until I saw this one. And that's the Chinese stuff's okay for me. Some of it's a little bit slow and things like this, but anyway, that's the box. So I'll just move that out of the way. And I ain't going to go through what was in the box, because there's plenty of things on how they unpack a box and things like this. But this is the actual thing itself, and I'm sure there's loads and loads of people with videos that show you how what they look like and all that sort of rubbish. But what I wanted to know was, this is a little thing I got from Amazon, which is worth $1 million. I think it's quite good. I think it's about £2 odd, that's all. And you can mess about with it and do what you like and get it to size and things like this. And you just stand it up like that, and there it is. And the FUSION5 has got a 10-inch screen, 10.1 in fact, and it's a 16 gigabyte model, as I've said, 16 gigabyte of hard drive, and it's an Android, sorry, an Andrex, toilet tissue. It's an Android, and it's got what they call a Linux kernel as an operating system, and it's an operating system that was it's being currently developed by Google. I don't know whether they actually started the thing up, but Google are doing it now. And this is the 4.4.2. And what that means is it's a kitty cat model 4.4.2, and what it means is, as far as I can make out, anything less than this, you can't stick a printer on it. Well, you can put a printer on this. You can stick a printer on and it will print out and things like that for you. So it's not bad. It was about £100. Postage and package, it goes a little bit over, but for £100 I'm not really complaining about everything. I've got a few little nuances that I don't like. But going through the spec on it, it's a quad core. That means it's got the CPU is in 4 bits, and all the CPU works in 4 separate entities. So you can run one bit while the other bit's doing something else, while the other bit's doing something else. So it runs quite fast. I think it's a 1.2 processor, and it's got Bluetooth. But I don't use Bluetooth. A lot of people do. I just connect up to Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was quite good. The only thing I did find that problem with it was that I couldn't see the writing when I came in to sign in. I couldn't see where I had to look, and it was quite hard to do. If you've got young eyes, I don't suppose it'll bother you, but me, I had a bit of a problem with that. I was like a deer trying to find out how you sign in. Yeah, it's got what they call a GPU as well, which is a graphics processing unit, and it's what you call an accelerator. It accelerates your graphics so they move a little bit faster, that's all. It's also got, I'm looking on here to see what it has got. It's got a 10.1 inch screen, and it's 1024 by 600. A capacitive touch screen, so that means when you touch it you move things along and it'll go up and down and such, and you can turn it this way and it'll go that way and this way, and that's what the G sensor's for. And the G sensor, it measures tilt and repositions the screen for you, and it's got an external storage card on the side, which is a micro SD card, and I have got one here. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I've got one here. And for the people that don't know, that's a micro SD card. An SD card is just secure digital, and these are normally high capacity, and it will take up to 32 gigabytes in one of these little things. And I think this one is that's an 8 gigabyte one, and what you do is you get the little beastie and you stick it in the side there very carefully. It's got written on the back anyway, it's got TF card, which means trans flash, it's the same thing as a micro SD card. It means the same thing, and you press it in. Be careful, because this shoots out. I was looking for one for about 2 days because it shot out. It's a good job I've got a few, because it shot across the room. It comes out like a gun. Just let me get this down for you, and I'll go through the little sidey bits for you. So that's where your SD card goes in there. I'm trying to look on the screen. I can't see whether you'll be able to see this or not. And the next thing along is the DC 5 volts, and it's the only way you can charge it. Unfortunately, you can't charge it through there's no way you can charge this through the USB socket. There are 2 USB sockets, but they're for something else. You cannot charge it anywhere else than through that little hole there. And the actual thing, I'll show you a picture of it later on. I haven't got it with me at the moment, but there is a charging unit you get with it. It's a very tiny little thing, and it just presses in there, single pin, and you get 2 cables, which I'll show you in a moment. And I'll show you the charging unit. I've got it on the screen. I forgot it. The next thing to it is a reset button. There's the reset button, and the reset button you will use, I guarantee it. I use a hair grip for it, the end of one of the wife's hair grips, the roundy ones, and sometimes the thing baffled, especially if you're getting upset with it, and because it does things you're not expecting it to do, and I'm not very clever anyway, so if it locked up completely, so I just pressed it in there and it reset itself quite happily and went along its way. It takes a bit of beating, this thing, off me. There's the two USB sockets anyway, and one of them is for the host and one is USB, and as far as I know the host is for taking in your films and your stuff that you're sticking on the side. I'll show you that in a minute. There is a little you get a cable like this with the equipment, and I've stuck a cruiser, what they call a cruiser blade, on the end. It's just an SD card really, and it's a SanDisk, and this is a 32 gigabyte, so you can use these as well as using the SD cards, the micro SD cards, and you stick it into the host like so, and there you go. And the other one is just for passing data apparently, but I've used them both, and I've been using this for that and that for this, so, and it doesn't seem to hurt it, but it will not charge through there. It doesn't charge through there, so don't try and charge it up through there. There's a HDMI, which I'm assured from one of the lads on the thing that it works very well. There it is, HDMI, and that's your input socket for your headset, which is, I use any old headset will do. I use this thing, yeah, with two little things on, and it's a 3.5 inch jack at the end, standard jack, 3.5, and that just plugs in there and off you go. The sound is not all that good actually. Anyway, there's the on and off button at the side there. These are all printed on the back. It's all, you can see them all on the back. They're all printed on, and that's the on and off button. And there are 3 buttons on the top which are press buttons, and I'm trying to get it so that you can see it properly. The first button is what I call a go back button, so wherever you are it takes you back to where you were, so you press it once, it'll go back 1, 2, 3 and 4 until you go back, instead of using the screen, that's all. It's a quicker method, or a different method. And then on the top you've got 2 other buttons which are sound, so that one's down and that one's up, so the left one's up and the right one is down. And that's about it for the externals, apart from the 2 speakers. It does come up and say on the 2 speakers, when you get so high, it says this will a prolonged state hurt your ears, but the sound is so bad. I mean, you could stick this on full blast and you wouldn't hurt a fly. This is the only real fault I've got with it, but I've got a couple of speakers I'm sticking on which I'm just charging up at the moment, and they're going to act as my speakers, so when I'm lying there and I'm watching the thing, I lost my train of thought now. Yeah, instead of using them I can use the speakers that I'm going to buy, and I presume there's a little hole down the bottom there, a very tiny hole, which must be the audio in. It's probably audio in, and it is a Chinese model. It's got Chinese all over the place, so at the moment I'm quite happy with it, so there's no big problems with it. Anyway, I'll stop there and I'll go on to the next bit in a minute. Okay, well, carrying on again, you do get an instruction manual with a thing. I haven't even read it because I can't read it, it's too small. You need a magnifying to read it, and I can't be bothered to read it, and this one's even tinier, so I've just been really frustrated with them. And some of these are in a Chinese mode where they go, you come back forwards and turn right, left, over the top, that kind of language, and I can't get away with it, so I haven't even bothered with them. But the thing is, basically it's pretty easy to use. I mean, I'll switch it on and I'll go into the camera mode. It's got a 1.3 megapixel camera at the front here, which is just there, and it's got a 2 megapixel camera at the back, which is there. And I am not going to use them because I'm not too switched on with this kit. I've got a good set of kit laid up, so I'm not going to use it. But in an emergency, I would imagine it would be okay. Anyway, I'll switch it on. There's a button at the side, and you press the button at the side, and there she comes on. And that's, I've put, there's several screens you can get when you go into the thing. I'm not going to go into what it does because it would take too long and I waffle in any case. So, as I say, it does the odd thing. But there is a 4K here which is for your films, and this one is for your camera, which I'm going to show you the two of. And these are for all your buttons. That one, you press that one and all your buttons come on, and if you've got any extras, there's extras. And it did say it had Adobe Reader on, and it didn't have Adobe Reader, and I had to put Adobe Reader on once I got onto the internet. And if you go onto the internet and you go Adobe Reader applications, it'll quite happily bounce back and show you it. And if you look on the top, it's got apps there, and then if you press that one, you go into your widgets, which are your clocks and your bookmarks and digital clocks and contacts and calendars and so on. But you can find all that out as you go along. I only use the apps, I don't use any of that. I use the browser mainly because I don't use Chrome browser. I use the basic browser, which is that one there, the Linux browser. Anyway, I shall go back. You can either go back using this button at the bottom here, so that's sound, and this one is the go back button, and I was in there, so it's as easy as that. And you can change this from left to right if you want. There's a set system where you can change it from left to right, but as I say, I'm not going to go into all that rubbish at the moment. You can find all that out for yourself. So I'll just go into the camera itself, and there you'll see, I'll just lift it up. It's looking at what I'm looking at now on the television screen. And what you do then is, if you want to go backwards and forward, it does video as well. You can video on it. I'll show you a video I've done, and the video things are down here. All the buttons are down here for what you want to do. And that one's for doing normal, continuous and snap, whichever you want to do, and for doing the camera if you so wish. And that's the forward facing camera. I'm not going to show you me. I can't stand the sight of me anyway. So I'll go back, turn it back to the opposite camera again, to the back end of the camera, and I'll show you a picture that I have done. This is a picture that I took earlier on with the camera, just to show you something that I'd done. You can get better quality if you mess about with it. I haven't messed about with it because it's not something I'm interested in, but you may well be interested in it, and I did say I would show you if I knew about it. The main thing I got it for was, I'll go back from there, and there you go back. You can use the top button to go back there, or you can use this button to go back. And the other thing is, if you go into 4K, I've got things on the side here mounted. So I've got an SD card mounted. I'll call it an SD card. It's a cruiser blade. You can put SD cards in there, whatever you want, but you can see what I've got here. That's a 16 gigabyte one. I just changed them over. And all this is an application socket, so you can put the things in, because the USB socket is not the same as a normal socket. It's not a normal USB socket. That's why you've got this. And you do get another one. You get an extension lead, which is this one here. And if you look at the thing, you'll see that it's not exactly the same as a USB socket. I don't know if I've got a book sheet. Yeah, I've got a USB here. just to show you the differences. That's a standard USB, and this is the USB that's on this one. Why? I've got no idea. I couldn't tell you why. I've got no idea. But anyway, it doesn't give me any problems at the moment. I've had no problems with it, and you can connect it to anything you want. And I'll just go back on that. So when you press the 4K, whatever you've got in there will come up on the screen. So depending how many films you've got on, and there's the one that I had earlier on, which is my video I took at 2.4 megabytes, and there it is. So we'll go back and I'll put you something else on with a bit of sound. I've got my speaker attached now, which is just I think they're about £6, and it's a rechargeable model, and it's got a USB socket at the side to charge up, and it's got a volume control, and it's got an on and off switch, and when you press it down and click it, it will lock, and it's called the Betron. I don't know why I'm telling you about that, but anyway, I'll just put you
the world's most vibrant
just to give you a sound.
Civilization flourished through war and peace. The Egyptians built great cities, enduring monuments. They advanced
I'm trying to get the light off it for you. That is the only thing that I don't like, is that
survives to this day.
the light, when you move the screen, you lose contrast and colour and everything. You can see it there. But I mean, for what you're getting, I don't suppose it's too bad. Anyway, that's the camera and the film. So as you can stick things in, and what I do, I just transfer them for the I put this into my machine and transfer and download them from YouTube, whatever I want. Or you can watch it on the internet if you want. There is internet. I've got an internet connection. I'm not going to go into the internet connection, but there's so many apps for this, it's ridiculous. There's loads of apps.
And he risks losing, but his enemies have left him no choice.
But you can get quite a lot on here, and I've been putting on file formats of 1280 by 720, 1024 by 768, 800 by 600, 1920 by 1080, but they were in AVI format. So anyway, I shall stop there, and if I think about anything else, I'll add that on as well. Oh yeah, just one more thing. When you switch down, you'll see it comes up to I'm trying to get it so you can see this properly without a light being on it. It says power off. You just hit the power off and it'll turn off, and it's got aeroplane mode and silent mode. The aeroplane mode is just, if you're going onto an aeroplane, you've got to shut everything off. You press that and everything turns off. All your transmissions in and out all turn off. That's what that is. So if you're interested, that's what it was. And you press the power off and it will reboot into quick mode next time. Oh, let's do it again. This is what I say, you've only got to touch something and it's away. Okay, she's shutting down now. And there you are, she's shut down. Anyway, I'll stop there. If there's anything else, I'll put it on.